Hello everyone, this is Douglas E. Welch with another container garden update for a gardener's notebook. For more information you can always visit the website douglasewelch.com. There you'll find a gardener's notebook and everything else that I do. So here today we're looking at the buttercrunch lettuce, and you know what I'm thinking of doing is they're a little overcrowded in here, and so I'm thinking of maybe having some little baby greens out here. Thinking of taking one or two heads out. Let's see if we can get him out of here. Roots and all, come on. There we go. So there's a nice little piece of lettuce we'll have in my salad today just to enjoy it at this stage. It'll give a little more space for these others to grow up. I think I'll take one more out of here right there. Again, give everybody a little more space in here and let these grow then a little bit bigger. So I ended up taking up about 4 small bunches of this lettuce here, mainly to make a little space between. Here's a little leaf lettuce here, another buttercrunch there. And hopefully then these will continue growing even bigger, and then we'll get a second harvest once these are mature. So here we are back on the potting bench, and it's 6 weeks. It's time to take a look at our rosemary cuttings. Frankly, I don't think we're going to see anything. They all look pretty dead. They all look pretty wiped out. I've actually done the little test of just kind of tugging gently, and then you know what? They slide right out. In the case of that one, you see there's no roots at all on that one. So I figure we'll dump them all out. We'll see if anything took. And if not, we'll redo it. We'll set up another set of these, and we'll try it again. I think these got too hot is the problem. Yeah, I'm not seeing much of anything on any of these. I now have, actually, you know what? There's a couple of roots on that one right there. So I may pot him back up. They're very fine roots, but he may actually keep going. The other ones, though, I'm not seeing much evidence on that pot. I've now shaded my potting bench a little bit, so I think these will have a little better opportunity to get a good start. And I've also got some started in water just to see if they do any better. And I'm going to continue with that process. Every time I pot something up this way, I'm actually going to drop it in some water too and see how that does. Yeah, nothing on these guys. Okay, so just that one had those tiny little roots. Got 2 more of these pots here. Let's see. I must say, I'm not very successful at potting up. I have been in the past. I guess I shouldn't say I'm not terribly successful, but it does require a certain amount of patience, and it does require a certain amount of care. And I can sometimes get distracted from watching over my cuttings and my seedlings by other projects that come up, and that's never a good thing because there's really no one else in the family who does this stuff like I do. And so therefore, if I lose my attention on it, the fact is they're gonna not pick up the slack and go with it, and that's fine. We all have our own interests in life, and so it looks like possibly we got 1 out of the 8. So I'm going to pop that one back up here real quickly and let him go on a little bit longer. And then I'm also going to prepare a few more cuttings and also keep check on the ones I have in the water only. The ones in the water only, actually, if I grab them back here real quick, you can sort of see they're still green and everything. We're not seeing any roots yet, but they are still green and doing well. In here I've got some kaleidostoma vine, I've got some rosemary, and in another jar I have some jasmine that I'm trying to get started too. I'm hoping to grab some brunfelsia today too. They're yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and get that going as well so I can get a few more of those. Okay, so here we go. So those roots are pretty high on there. I'm just gonna put my finger down there like a dibble, put that back around him, and just see what happens. In that case, I did see some roots, so it's a possibility he may continue on and take off, even though he does look a little sad right now. Next up are our ficus seeds that I planted in here. I don't think this is a ficus seed. I believe that's a weed, so we're going to take him out. I'm not seeing any sign of growth in here, so again, we'll take one, we'll pop him out, and just see if we see any signs of germination at all. The fact is, I see the seeds, but you know what? No, it doesn't look like any of the seeds decided to germinate fully. So, okay, well that's going to free up some more pots here for some other, there's a seed down here in the bottom, but no, nothing at all. I have no idea in what environment they like to germinate, and so it's not surprising. This was a bit of a guess and a test just to see if anything would happen in here. Doesn't look like we've got any germination at all, though. You know, that's part of gardening. This was also a very big experiment. The ficus, I understood, was dropping these seeds because the wasp that pollinates the ficus was actually in the area this year, and it hadn't been for previous years, so that's why we had such a big crop. Well, we'll see what goes on next time, and maybe we can grab some more and try again later. And finally for today, if you happen to watch my In the Garden series that I do, in today's episode, which was a little bit late from Wednesday, you may notice that I was trimming back our lantana plant out front. And one of the things I noticed when I was pruning it back is, like a lot of plants, lantana will actually layer. Where a stem touches the ground, it'll actually start to send the fruits. And I noticed some fairly healthy roots on some of these layerings. So what I'm going to do here, again, trying something for nothing here, I'm going to cut this guy back. He's got a nice healthy root there. We're going to take off the bigger stem. And you know what? We're going to, I wonder if I need to pot him in a slightly bigger pot. I'm going to put him in a small one here for now, and we'll see. But actually, let's put him, make sure that root gets all the way down there in the bottom, so it has a chance to seat nicely in the soil. And then we're just going to go ahead and cover him up in there. Leave this little bit of the stem popping out there in case he wants to throw out some leaves. But we'll try. We'll water these in, and we'll see if those roots continue to take. With a root that prominent, I think this one is pretty good probability of success, because that's a really good root, and he was growing right down in the soil before I pulled him out so unceremoniously this morning. We have another one here. Where's he at? I know I got another good one in here somewhere. Here we go. Here you might be able to see there's a whole series of kind of hair-like roots along this section. So I'm actually going to take, I think, at least 2 cuttings off of there, and maybe 3, and do the same exact thing. We're going to take him here, we're going to take him here, and again, we're just going to, in this case, we'll fill it up first, and plop him down in there, and then just refirm him back in. We'll give these guys some water and see what happens. Lantana is pretty darn resilient. As you saw, if you watched that episode of me cutting it back, well, I cut it back quite dramatically, and it will come back, and it survives through drought and everything else. So I got a reasonably good assurance that those will actually take off here. This has a nice 2 good roots right there. I'm going to take it here, and then I think, now we do want to remember these were kind of laying like that. We do want to remember what side was up, so it should go in the pot like that. We'll do that. We'll again push him in here. Actually, we'll take a little bit off the bottom, I think, and let him set a little lower in the pot. Yeah, there we go. And then just take our soil and drop in there around him. So we'll see. If I get a few more of these, it'd be nice. I have some blank spots in the garden that could certainly benefit from having a little more green and a little more color. These, as I said, these are purple lantana. I have some yellow here in the back too. So plants for nothing, always a good idea. So I'm always willing to take a few minutes just like this. This isn't taking any time at all to just try things out and see what you find. Ooh, and here I got another really good rooted. I put that against my hands. You see 3 good roots coming off of that one. So again, we're going to trim back that. We'll trim back the base, and we'll make him probably that tall. And let's see what we get from him. Just reusing the containers and the soil I had for those rosemary, and might as well make use of it. I have additional potting soil as well if I need it. And you know what? I did that, but I didn't want to do it that way. I want to do it this way. Put it in first, and then the newspaper from the bottom is actually coming up from the bottom of the tray. I didn't want the soil to leak through this tray that I'm using here. So there we go, and there's our stem right there. We let him stand a little bit proud, and we'll see what happens. I want to thank you for watching this episode of Container Garden Update. If you haven't checked out my In the Garden series, where I talk about things more in the garden itself rather than here on the potting bench, please do. You can find them both at a gardener's notebook, douglasewelch.com. If you want to go directly to a gardener's notebook, douglasewelch.com/AGN. and that'll take you right to the Gardener's Notebook blog. If you're watching this on YouTube, please click the like button. It really helps us, helps other people discover our videos, and gets us more views there, so more people get to share in the fun. Thanks again, and until next time, keep digging.